Well, SPOOKY2, here we go again. We got the Spooky Central, and we got the plasma bulb right there. I don't have the other one yet. I don't know if I'm gonna get the other one, but that one's good too. So we're going to shell presets, and actually, I'm going to tell you, you could probably run a Zika virus on this, but except it doesn't have the Zika virus in the programs yet, but you can purchase them. And you know, the thing is, I can't tell you what the frequencies are. It's like it's a license for each person, and I think I spent the $12. I already got it. But say, for instance, you know, Ebola, you can put that in there, right? And you know, that was the other big scare. I think the Zika virus is just some way for the state to make money. But say, I don't know, let's just use Ebola 1 and 2. Now, I went over this before. This plasma is really slick the way this guy's got it working. He has it where the second frequency modulates, and it creates all these harmonics of the original frequency, every harmonic of it. So it works, man. That's all I gotta tell you, man. It's doing its job. So if you're running Ebola, it's got to bring it up by a power of 8 into the range where it's supposed to be, like with 30 hertz was the first one, because this runs between 100,000 hertz and 3.5 million. But so it brings it up in a range where it's going to work with a power of 8. Then it modulates it by, you can see it's 122 880, 122 850. I don't know if you can read that, probably not, but the difference between those two numbers is the 30 hertz, and it makes steps, other additional waves, by modulating the two, combining those two waves, steps of secondary waves of 30 hertz all the way up and down the spectrum. So you know, it's running, it's doing its thing, it's running through here, runs through the cables, and it flashes 4 times a second. That's a gating sequence, right? So, you know, we went over that before, but there is Zika virus frequencies that exist, and I don't know if they're free anywhere. That's the thing. And if they're free, maybe they're no good if they're free, and that's the other thing. And I'm not selling nothing with this place, but I'll just tell you where it is. Right here, it's on DNAfrequencies.com, store index, type human, because she's got animal, plant frequencies and human frequencies, and also custom work. I think her name is Charlene Bohm. She's in North Carolina someplace, and she's got some kind of patented way. And you know, there's no guarantee with this. You know, I'm not telling you it definitely works or anything, but you know, what the hell, right? You know, I think the odds of people getting Zika virus is like 1 in a gazillion. I mean, it's not even 1 in a million. Of course, you know, in Florida, they're spending tens of millions of dollars spraying every mosquito there is because somebody's making a lot of money about it. And, you know, I'm not going to make any claims that this is going to work because she won't either, but I think it does. The other thing is, if you make a claim on it, you know, the Florida Department of Health would be like, you can't do that. You know, I mean, so I ain't making a claim. I'm just telling you where the information is. I'm just telling you what I did. So this is DNA pathogen frequencies. And, of course, this is like technology it's been around a long time, but definitely not recognized by the medical profession. But considering I got a SPOOKY2 plasma device here, you know, and the new program will run any frequency because of the way he's got the program automatically calculates the multiple of 8, the power of 8, to bring it up in the range where the device will work, and then it does the modulation with the second frequency by, I don't want to make it sound even more freaking crazy, you know, it's like the second frequency is a modulation frequency, and the actual difference between the original frequency to the power of 8 minus the original frequency is the modulation frequency. It sounds worse than I'm telling it, though. You know, I mean, the way I'm saying it sounds really worse. But for instance, you got 1200 here. So you multiply that by powers of 8 till you get up to in a range where the device works, which happens to be 614,400. So that's 8 times, it's probably 64. I don't know what that would be. 2,048 probably. No, I think that's 64. That's probably 64 times that. I'm not sure. Because powers of 8. It goes 8, 64, 512, 512. And 2,048. And then 32,000 something powers of 8. But if you look at the difference between 614,400 and the second frequency, 613,200, that's 1,200. That's the original frequency, so it's modulating it. The modulation frequency is different. It's different by the original. And what that does is it makes secondary waves of all the harmonics of the original frequency. So if the frequencies are correct, this thing's actually putting them out, and it's actually putting them out in a gated sequence. And you can probably hear it's kind of like making a little audible noise here. Beep, beep, beep. You know, that's because it's in a different, you know, it hit a frequency where I can hear something. But, you know, it should work for the Zika virus, too. I mean, this is the Ebola, you know, the big scare that was around before. Oh, Ebola's going to kill 2/3 of the population of the earth, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know what the hell is, you know, I mean, maybe they're trying to do that. Maybe they're doing that. I don't know. But considering I have this, I'm not telling you to do it, but I know what I'm doing. And for people that have this device already and spent, you know, whatever it was, because I think it's, you know, really when you add up everything, it's more than $2,000 with the generator and all that. I think there's a price with, you know, this and a plasma bulb, depending on which one you get. Then you got to buy the generator. So, you know, it adds up. I think it's a couple, and then the shipping, you know, it'll be over 2,000. But, you know, the deal is, it doesn't, well, there's a lot of other things that could probably be applied. And I'm just going to stop this briefly. There's other things you could do, because I think it has in here, yeah, here it is, CPS Research, remote mode, John White. So you can run the frequencies remotely with not using this. And much, I don't know how well that would work, though. That's the thing. I think the plasma is really the way you want to use it, but you can run it remotely, and that would cost, I think these are still $105. I think the shipping's like $35. I don't know what the hell it is. And then the remotes are $40. And you gotta have that little, you want to have that add-on boost thing. I mean, it might wind up being a little over $200. But I hate to say it's going to work or not, because even Charlene doesn't guarantee that her frequencies work. But, you know, and nobody, the reason I'm putting it out here is because really nobody knows about it. Nobody really knows about it. I mean, this is like a very much a niche thing. She's got frequencies for a lot of different stuff that are custom through her patented program. You know, words that I don't even understand what the hell they're for. You know, streptococcus, whatever. That's whatever. It's heard of that before. Heard that term before. Yeah, but you know, all kinds of pneumonias and viruses and bacteriums and stuff. So it does actually. She does have something for the Zika virus. Now you can really call this theoretical, but let me put it to you this way. You know, if it was me, I'd bet on this versus anything in conventional medicine myself. That's just my opinion only, right? Everybody's got their opinion. You know, I know the Florida Department of Health would be like, yeah, well, you know what? Do what the hell you want. You know, the way I look at it, I'd like to, it'd be kind of funny. I'd take a bet with them. You know, why don't you just inject yourself with bubonic plague? We all inject ourselves with bubonic plague. And I'll go take my spooky over here, because I think Rife has bubonic in here. Bubonic? Bubonic plague. I think he's got actually the original Rife frequency in here someplace. Yeah, here it is. Right here. Bubonic plague. That's an original Rife frequency. That should work. I take a bet with him. Why don't you go, we all inject ourselves with bubonic plague. You take your freaking conventional medicines, and I'll bet with my spooky Rife machine. Oh, I forgot to erase this. I gotta erase it first, excuse me. And I'll bet with my spooky Rife machine, and we'll see who survives. You know, this thing theoretically should knock it out in minutes, whereas the other people might be dead. So, I mean, that might be the way to bet them, right? You know, you want a real medical establishment, let's stick it to you. We'll get bubonic plague injected to us intravenously or something. And, you know, I'll take my spooky machine here with this, the plasma, and you take your conventional medicines, and we'll see who wins. You know, I might be fine in 15 minutes, and he'll be, you know, flopping around on the floor. I mean, it's probably the way you got to put it. And would that prove it to the, you know, the federal departments of health and the Florida Department of Health? Yeah, maybe. I'd take that bet. To hell, you know, everything's, like I said, everything with this disease and management, whatever the hell it is, it's all big money. And you can see what's going on today with the spraying of the mosquitoes in Florida with, you know, the what do you call it? The, you know, the governor's wife has financial interest in the mosquito company and stuff. Latest big scandal. Not only do they have interest in medical, but they got interest in right? Mosquito spraying. So, of course, 2 people got the Zika virus, and, of course, we're going to spend $23 million on spraying for bugs. We'd probably kill more people in the long run with cancer. You know what I mean? Because bug spray, stuff that kills mosquitoes, actually is not very bad for humans. So, whatever. Anyway, just want to put it out here because even though that's not in spooky software by default, it looks like there's frequencies out there for the Zika virus. But I think the Zika virus is like such a long shot of getting, even if you're in the state of Florida. I mean, hang it up, man. I mean, you know, you're more chance of you get struck by lightning, for crying out loud. There's a lot of thunderstorms out here. And yeah, that flashes like that because it's already set all the time to do a 4 hertz gating sequence. That flashing is flashing the frequency itself, right? Okay? Is that you? You see that? You understand that? It's Goldie the cat. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. So, here we go. Mr. Spooky. Mr. Spooky and Goldie the cat. So, let me just tell you that I trust everything. You know, if Royal Rife was around, I think we know the frequencies for... We know the frequencies for, what do you call it, Zika now, but... Yeah, we'll never know like what he fully did for all of his work, but we're just continuing on and taking off from where he left off. That's all there is to it.